of violence in the country.
Ba gaetsho re tshela mo lehatsheng le le bokete le le sa nnang sentle. Bontsi ba rona re le batsadi ha ra dira sentle mo kgodisong ya bana ba rona. Re paletswe. Bana ba rona ha ke itse ka ha o tshotse se ipone gate wa ipona. Ha ke itse ra ke gone jaaka ha re ipona mo go bone. Ha ke one phitlhello e re nang nayo ha re lebile mohama wa go godisa bana. So se se rang gore go ya ko pele re le puso, go ya ko pele re le bana le seabe, re patelesega go tsholetsa le go kopanna kgannye ya go tlhoka tsebe mo baneng ba rona jaaka ha re e bona. Me gongwe go simologe ka rona bagolo, re itebe re itse motlhala, re boele ko marakanelong a ditsela.
Lehatshe la rona le a lela ba ga rona go dipolano tse dintsi botlhoko ke jaaka ke tsile ko Moshopa Boys Prison gompieko ke re gongwe ke ba utlwe gongwe ha re ka reetsa ka hale ka go gongwe re tla ka tsela nngwe ya gore mathata a hele ra leka mentsi go a oketsega ga re tlhaloganye go botlhoko tota go bana setšhaba sa rona se hetogile re shakgetse re utlwile botlhoko ga go sa thole go le monate yaanong ke ya ka re tsile yana go ba lekola le bone ba ba mo kgolegelong re gongwe ha ba ka re bolelela gore dilo tse dingwe tse ba di dirang ba di dirisiwa ke eng re ka kgona go di emisa ra ba ra kgona go hokotsa kana go emisa dipolao.
Members of Parliament have been advised to actively play their oversight role, as this will help in ensuring that funds allocated for developmental projects are not diverted to unapproved projects without any legal standing. This was highlighted by the former Member of Parliament for Jwane Mabutsane, Mr. Mephato Ratile, who was a facilitator during the MP's budget seminar on the appropriation bill this morning in Gaborone. Monica Sutwaila with more.
A 4-day seminar organized for members of the 13th Parliament to ensure they appreciate budget issues and proper use of government funds. An experienced former MP has been roped in to sharpen their legislative skills prior to the national budget speech next week.
Gora gore ha nna yalo go bo go nna thata gore rona ba bangwe re ka dumela o bo no re ile mola wa gore madi a development ke gore ke madi a wa tsereng ko consolidated fund a mangwe ke di grant a mangwe ke di loan ke madi a le mararo a tsena mo so ya ha e ka ratsa kong o pele le gore tsala ra di mama di go wena ha ka itse gore tsere madi ko development budget.
Members of Parliament sought questions on certain issues relating to the use of public funds in case of projects not sanctioned by Parliament.
Minister of Finance. Exactly, hello, the China, hello, Imolao, Sunto Spender, in the house of Naja, one answer to Amaro, for it, as a woman. As a reminder, I will say, no, Minister, has Minister.
It was also revealed that there are loopholes which should be carefully assessed to prevent corrupt practices.
I remember the Honorable Minister then, Matsika. Abuaka or Kana Madia a development, Winty Body. I do Kahela Kabakashan and Abuela, how quite you Iraha. I look at Piers Baba. You go power. It's kind of an about PAC. Even every time, how much of which? Every time, can it's clear that Leonard Hela, Adama Hela, brief you ga botsa dipotso ga questiona distance
di sa charge di teng mme o tlhalela gore go sa tshejiwa ma-driver ra hela batho ba ba go godimo ba ba efoba ba itse go itirela sentle ga ke ba sa charge.
Members of Parliament were encouraged to ensure that resolutions adopted by Parliament are implemented accordingly. Monica Satswaila, BTV News, Gaborone.
Residents of Gaborone Central have called on government to fix dilapidated infrastructure, especially school buildings. Residents believe that poor infrastructure development and maintenance contribute to poor academic performance. These concerns were raised during a consultative Kgotla meeting with Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Kgotla, who's also Minister for International Relations. Kgotla compiled the following story.
The resident of Gaborone Central says a poor infrastructure is a serious obstacle in the development of their communities and hinders economic growth in their area.
Re na le ba ipelege mo teng ba e leng gore ba re thusa ka go ra gone go phephatsa go dira ditiro. Mme ra itso ba na le ngongora gore matlakala mantsi mo kgaolong ga ba ntse be re tsama mo kgaolong mo ra phuthana ba cancel ke gore gongwe ga ba heogele seemo sa gore ba ka tla go atsa mo nakong.
Re kopa gore ba getso le re ntse mo mathateng ka gore bogodu bo bontsi mo phashia go ha ke passage batho ba tswa mo go pula ba hetela go ba hetelang teng ba heta ka phashia ba ba tswa go ba tswang teng kwa ba hetela go toropong go ntse go hetwa ka phashia.
When responded to their concerns, Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Kgotla, assured them that government is doing everything possible to come up with alternative solutions to unemployment situation in the country.
Phuthego e ne le phuthego ya go le ipontsha le makhanselara a lona le go le leboga ke le lebogela gore be le nthumile le go le lemosa gore re a go phuthegong ya budget e tabeng e tsena ka mantaga o tang le go utlwa megopolo ya lona le go le rolela seemo sa itsholelo jaaka rona re se bona re se ithetse madi a tshwanetseng gore a tsamaise lehatshe ga se re se dira mo nakong ya gompieno yana ke go leka ka bojotlhe gore lehatshe le sekala wela ko tlase.
Still at the same Kgotla meeting, the Minister of International Relations, who is also the area legislator, assured the public that government has signed a lucrative deal with De Beers for the selling of diamonds.
Tumalano ya rona le ba di BS ba tswang khakala le bona e tetsene mo tseleng re saene re tele khone go bona letsene ka go go sena sepe se se neng se le teng me ka dikapelo tsa lona maabane le gompieno go tlo go begwa gore nya mosepelo ole ga wa nna mosepelo wa mahala re saene tumalano le ba di BS
This meeting is one of the vital platforms used by the area Member of Parliament to consult and engage with the residents in order to appreciate and put their interest in the forefront when advocating for them in Parliament. Paul Kilebuhem, BOTSWANA Television, Gaborone.
Psychosocial support and counseling are necessary to assist those mourning loved ones as they go through emotions and various stages of grief. This was reiterated by various speakers at the Widows and Widowers gathering held at the Kgotla over the weekend. It was also noted that the society tends to shun widows and widowers, stretching their grieving period. Angela Enosa with more.
Widows and widowers in Khansi had the opportunity to escape their reality. Brought together by their grief, they converged at the Kgotla for sessions of psychosocial support, counseling and games to clear their minds, being given a platform to share experiences that will hasten their healing process. Society is called on to be more supportive and inclusive of widows and widowers and give them the support they need so that they can move past their grief.
Certain things are normal when you have to grieve. That is why we should not put it under the carpet, but we should keep it, let it come out, and let me help people to process it. Sometimes after a funeral, these people set back in their houses and they don't get attention. We should not put them aside. We should help them, encourage them, and lift them up.
It's important that they are given counseling and the support they need so they could become active members of the society who take part in decision making that contributes to the development of our localities. We can't be having people in society who are not dealing properly with their grief, people who are not being given the proper support through the entire grieving process. Inadequate support will surely delay their grieving process and coping with grief. Counseling remains key during the grieving process. Grief changes how one perceives themselves, how they view their surroundings, amongst other things. Therefore, it is important for one to go through some form of counseling so that they can find ways to deal with their grief and handle it better. Traditionally, we do not really understand the importance of going through counseling. We just assume that the one who has lost a loved one will always find ways of coping with their grief with no professional help. We need to seek professional help wherever possible so we are able to deal with grief and trauma better. We used to meet here thinking we have problems until we met others going through the same experience as us and realized some are going through so much more than we are. All we are saying is that we need to meet in sessions like this one and lift each other up and talk through our grief together. We have realized that many go through so much after losing their spouses, which is why it is important for us to meet in sessions like this one and comfort each other. This session is testament that though people mourn in different ways, they can still find comfort through shared understanding and knowing grief should not be a burden they have to carry alone. Angela Enosa, BTV News, Kgotla.
This is, of course, BTV News at 9. Member of Parliament for Serowe North, who's also the Assistant Minister of Trade and Entrepreneurship, Mr. Baratiwa Matote, says coordination of government departments has proved to be beneficial in improving service delivery. Mr. Matote said this when addressing a Kgotla meeting in Ditima Modimo in Serowe. Gabriel Meriki has more.
Mr. Matote says it is important for government departments to bring their resources together in order to provide good service delivery. He appealed to government departments to prioritize developmental projects which improve the people's livelihoods.
Goromente ka ha tsa makgetho ka teng ga a dire go lekana. Go na le dikompone tse ditona thata tse leng gore mo lehatsheng la Botswana ga di duele makgetho. Jaanong
revenue collection done by the government is not enough. There are big companies that are not paying tax. You should know that the economy and developments are driven by the amount of tax collected. We must start the tracing system to ensure that there is tax coming into the country. That's how we are going to resuscitate the economy.
The
residents of the Ditima Modimo in Serowe says they are still waiting for some developments in that area.
We used to have the manufacturing company here in Serowe back in the days, but after its contract ended, young people that were employed by the company have nowhere to go. We have local companies that are tendering supply contracts by the government, but not paying their workers well. When reviewing the labor laws that force companies to pay workers a living wage of 4,000 pula, please ensure these companies are also included.
The area councillor says he is grateful for the support they are receiving from different departments.
We have a problem of poor drainage system in our area that is affecting residents. So I must applaud the leaders of the new government as they are working tirelessly and responding to issues well on time.
The residents have been encouraged to desist from doing business on behalf of foreigners as this impacts badly on the economy. Gabriel Meregi, PTV News, Sarowe.
Government has reaffirmed its commitment to continuously engage the public in matters relating to development and governance. Addressing residents of Lidumang and Tweneng in the Gaborone North constituency, the area MP, Mr. Sean Ntaile, encouraged residents to embrace meetings such as these as an opportunity to have their voices heard and their interests reflected in the national agenda. Tolofelo Tombale reports.
Mr. Ntaile has encouraged Gaborone North residents that government is open to dialogue and consultations, and this offers them an opportunity to be actively involved in government business and fully utilize available digital platforms to communicate their concerns.
Kana halo batla go bua le mo parlamente a isa khone go tla kwana.
When you want to talk to me and I haven't found the time to come here, you can at any time log on to the mobile app BOTSWANA Speaks to engage with me and those of my office. It's free. Residents raised concerns such as poor drainage, which need to be addressed. There aren't enough places for our young children, despite there being 3 primary schools in our area, Ikageng, Lidumang and Tsogang. Also, our clinic often doesn't have a nurse to care for patients. Our roads are in bad condition, they flood and pose a danger to residents. I am committed to seeing that this constituency will receive the development it needs. That is my goal. I came here to assure you of this and that your concerns will be addressed. I will also make it my policy to come here often. The Member of Parliament assured residents that he will work closely with district leadership and other stakeholders to address issues relating to developments and service delivery. Tsolofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
In international news, researchers in South Africa are conducting studies on rhinos by injecting their horns with radioactive pellets to make them radioactive in order to decrease their demand on the black market. As part of the study, researchers are undertaking blood tests to ensure the injections are not hazardous to rhinos.
Researchers say they've been looking for a solution to curb poaching of rhinos for a long time, and if the blood tests of the rhinos come out positive, it will be a breakthrough. The method is said to be more cost-effective than the one they've been using of dehorning.
We've all been looking and trying to find the silver bullet to stop rhino poaching, and I think this could just be what we need to stop poaching in its tracks. It is a brilliant idea.
The dose injected on the rhinos is said to be in small quantities and not harming them, but it is strong enough to be detected at ports of entry.
Harming the animal is the most important thing to make sure that it's completely avoided. The radiation they're getting would be almost like somebody traveling internationally on a plane overseas for like 2 or 3 times a year. So it's very, very low.
Spent 2.5 years
developing computer models of the animals and carrying out the tests and comparing these with results from the International Commission on Radiation Protection. And our results compare extraordinarily favorably.
Rhino horns are said to have a huge black market in Asia, where it is believed to have medical benefits, and the demand is pushing the animals to extinction. Test results to confirm that the animals are still healthy are expected to be released in 2 months. Goboletse Mang, Boitshwarelo, BTV News.
Kgotla is standing by to give us the latest in sport.
Let me thank you, Khomso, and good evening. This is Kgotla bringing to you the BOTSWANA Tonight Sports News, and with that, let's get straight into it. BOTSWANA Volleyball Federation BVF will host the first ever open beach volleyball tournament in an effort to scout for players as well as to popularize the sport. The BVF president, Susela Sumahan, says they are ready to host the event, which will be played this weekend at Marimbo and Mulapo Crossing and Gaborone. Saboke Himile and William Sioka compiled the report.
Maran further said local teams as well as others from South Africa, Zimbabwe and Lesotho will take part.
We even have a few countries they have shown interest. But Zimbabwe, Zambia, I think they're already on their way. South Africa, Lesotho, I think they'll be coming through tomorrow. So
the BVF president revealed that they've managed to secure some few sponsors to ensure the tournament goes as planned.
Ministry to develop the sport beach volleyball, and this a tournament like this was one of the tournaments so even though the club championships that we hosted at the end of last year, but we were able to do that, and we've also been able to attract the sponsors. So far, Kare insurance brokers have confirmed that but that's a renela. How can lebella motshameko wa indoor? How lebella di player tse di tshamekang mo beach volleyball because of the complexity of play. Yeah, beach volleyball o take off mothabo wa teng and so on. E ra gore le play ya bone ha ba go tsena ka go indoor. But
the champions of the upcoming beach volleyball tournament will walk away with a whooping 4,000 pula, while the second place team will pocket 3,000 pula, whilst the third runners-up will collect 2,000 pula, and the fourth place team will be rewarded by 1,000 pula. Tsepo Himile, BTV Sport.
BOTSWANA Football Association's Marketing and Communications Manager Masego Busumane says the preparations for the much-anticipated Orange FA Cup Season 6 are on track. The accelerating round of 48 starts this weekend in the Southern Zone. Khomsus Faku has the full story.
As excitement builds up for Season 6, fans are eagerly anticipating some mouth-watering encounters in the 8 matches built for Southern Zone this weekend. Teams will be vying for a coveted spot in the next round. Busumani said they have made all the necessary arrangements to ensure smooth running of the matches. All the games will kick off at 4 p.m. to accommodate grounds that do not have lights. We have regional committees that we are working with to prepare for the games, and we have made sure that all the fields that will be used are well maintained and can accommodate spectators. Also, to ensure the spectators and the players' safety, we will be having security and medical personnel at all fields to make sure that we are ready for any situation that may arise. The Orange FA Cup has solidified its position as the most beloved football competition among spectators, largely due to a high level of play exhibited by the competing teams.
The mix of talent, the fierce competition. Every season, who will emerge the winners this season. Team ya Premier League, or team ya regional level. So that excitement, but that it's something that we cannot take away from the Orange FA Cup. And also as Orange Botswana, the community is at the heart of everything we do.
As the 3-year partnership between BFA and Orange Botswana enters its final year, both parties have expressed satisfaction as the tournament has helped the growth of local football development programs.
Kgolo ke kwa godimo ka gore ga re lebella ko morago nna ra itemogela hale o rapa ikila ya lone.
We have noticed a large following of the FA Cup games, especially in the areas that have small teams, because it gives them excitement and also gives the players a chance to showcase their talent and compete against elite players. We have noticed growth in the cup, shown by the level of competition. It's a cup full of unpredictability, as any team can win this cup.
With Orange FA Cup, we do not only support the tournament, it's more like of the bigger picture, the bigger idea, as we want to help those teams to grow from grassroots level to international level. You know, we support talent, we nurture talent, and we provide every step of the way. The travel subsidies, this weekend,
This weekend's Southern Zone games will pave the way for next round, with the draw scheduled to take place next weekend in Siroe after the Northern Zone games. The draw will follow after the clash between former Premier League side Messilinias and current Premier League side Chadibi FC. Khomzo Sefako, PTD Sport, Gaborone.
And that is all that we had for you from Botswana Tonight Sports Desk. Until we meet tomorrow, have a blessed night. Now let's take a look again at headlines.
The natural diamond market is expected to experience significant growth as lab-grown diamond sales plunge. Parents called to include their children in talking about family issues.
And in sports, the Botswana Volleyball Federation to host the first ever open beach volleyball tournament to scout for players.
That is all that we had for you in our news bulletin this evening. Jose Hongwe giving us sport, interpreting in sign language was Topo Taposa. Up next is the weather update, BTV News, Ikanyarona.
Good evening, welcome to today's weather update brought to you by Neo Atin. Well, today we've experienced hot to very hot temperatures across many areas in the country, with Veda recording 38 degrees Celsius, Kansi and Lepepe recorded 36 degrees Celsius. Other areas recorded less than that. Before we look into tomorrow's weather forecast, let's just quickly look at some of the rainfall records we had this morning at 8 o'clock. 5 millimeters at Khansi Meteorological Station, 3 millimeters at Karakubis Primary School and Shakawe Meteorological Station, 1 millimeter at Boxbeats Agro-Meteorological Station, Komana Primary School and Ngarange Primary School. While currently clear skies are visible over most parts of the country, and tomorrow on Thursday, partly cloudy conditions are expected countrywide, with isolated thunder showers over southern, southeast Kgotla, Kwending, central, Chobe, Ngamiland, and Khanzi. We are also expecting fresh to strong winds, therefore the public is advised to take precaution. In the morning hours, temperatures will be hot countrywide, ranging between 20 degrees Celsius at Silibe Pikwe to about 22 degrees Celsius at Veda. In the afternoon, temperatures will be quite uncomfortable over most areas because we're expecting very hot temperatures, with 36 degrees Celsius at Mahalape to about 38 degrees Celsius at Suapen. Over southern, we're expecting hot temperatures ranging between 34 degrees Celsius at Good Hope, and 35 degrees Celsius at Jwaneng. And due to these high temperatures, the public is advised to take precaution. Looking at African cities now, showers of rainfall are expected over Antananarivo, Dar es Salaam, Luanda, and Windhoek, with 32 degrees Celsius at Luanda and Dar es Salaam, 24 degrees Celsius at Antananarivo. Over Nairobi, sunny intervals are expected with 29 degrees Celsius. Still on African cities, particularly over the northern parts of Africa, sunny intervals are expected over Addis Ababa, Khartoum, N'Djamena, and Rabat, with 19 degrees Celsius at Rabat, 36 degrees Celsius at N'Djamena. Over Cairo, cloudy conditions are expected with 16 degrees Celsius. Well, that's all from the weather desk. Until we meet again next time, same place. Good night.
Coming up in this edition of Eye on SADC, Namibia and Sweden exploring new growth opportunities in renewable energies, and panic among Eswatini businesses after U.S. tariff increase. And Lesotho launches emergency care initiative.